not necessarily that they conclude the psalm, but that section that we said, they read it over and meditate on it. My time and why this particular mizmor, this particular section of the Tehillim, the Psalms? Begin to Chadleila Parish Kafri al Alma. What happens when the night comes? It's metaphorically like a blanket or like a wing that's being spread over the earth. Till now it was light, and now darkness is coming. It's kind of, when you watch the sun setting, you'll notice the back of the horizon opposite is darker, and as every minute goes by dark, it's like the darkness is spreading, right?
Like a blanket, right?
Yeah.
Pulling a blanket over yourself. Oh.
And this idea of the kanaf, this kind of metaphoric wing of darkness, is almost like a descending camp. Like when you see a big group, like a regiment, military regiment, when they descend on a particular area, they fill up that whole area. That's one way of understanding it. At that point, because it's darkness, there's a taste of death. One of the theories of why we have to sleep at night, for example, is because from a perspective of protecting the self, throughout much of time, darkness is equated with danger and death. So even though now we have lighting, but in the big picture of things, darkness is so associated with the opposite of knowing, the opposite of safety, with fear and death, that we have to sleep to kind of remove ourselves from that fear. There's one theory like that. It's not simply that we need to rest, but we need to remove ourselves from the descent into danger, the descent into madness. Kedain.
Reading somewhere that I think that this 1/60th of the soul.
Correct, is like 1/60th of death when you sleep.
Does it say 1/60th of prophecy?
We like the 1/60th thing. When you visit the sick person, you take away 1/60th of their illness.
Oh, that's interesting.
There's a lot of things at 1/60th.
What's the significance of 160?
It's not nothing to do with it. The Zohar doesn't mention it. It's just off the topic. I'm not answering everything that anybody brings up. Kedain kol bnei alma tam demosa. That's when we have a taste of death. V'nafki nishmasayu l'saka le'ila. And in a sense, even though it's negative, we're asleep, so we're not in control. But the flip side is, there's also an ascent. Just like death also has an ascent. But here it's better than death because you're actually going to wake up, God willing, in the morning. So the soul is in some level ascending on high. It's going up to its source. And renewing there. We're giving over our soul in God's hands. Right? We're giving over like a pikadon, like a safekeeping for God, our souls. V'inu malachin kaimen. And these angels, they're standing, and they're like checking to see, is this angel on the level to come up or not, get renewed?
Meaning us?
No. Angels, we're the souls. They're inspecting our souls as they are about to rise to decide whether or not we're worthy of rising to be rejuvenated on high.
Also prayer, also?
Yes, but not here. That's another thing, the metaphor of the angels checking at the validity of the prayers, the pureness of the prayers, and telling them that they can come up or not come up. But that's correct.
They don't understand Aramaic also.
But we ourselves know as well, I think. I mean, realistically, if you look at yourself, you know whether it's sincere or not.
Maybe, yeah.
Sometimes you're better than you think.
V'inu malach and kaimen, and these angels are there, right? But ka'amia, they're saying about the souls that are going up in their sleep. Mi ala b'Hashem. They say, who amongst you is really fit to go up to God's mountain? Right? Har Hashem, the Har Bayis. What is the Har Hashem? What is the mountain of God? That's the Temple Mount. But the temple, but there's the Temple Mount of above. It's the temple below, and the space of where the temple is on, the Har Bayit it's called, is also, it's like it's almost like a hologram of
the top.
Of a higher form of that spiritual reality. And that's where the souls are ascending to. Makam Kadsho, to the place of His holiness. What is that? That's even further, not just the general area of the Temple Mount, but that's Ezras Yisrael. That's the place where the Israelites were allowed to go into the temple. There's sections of the temple that people could go into, and then there are other inner sections that only the priests could go into. Because as is above, so is below, and as is below, so is above. The different grades of sanctity that we had in the Temple Mount, were paralleling higher levels within heaven. Each place within the sanctuary, the Heichal, the Mizbeach, they're all have to do with spiritual. They're manifestations of this idea of, I'll say, concentric circles. Not necessarily circles; they could be square. But the idea of this kind of intense sanctity surrounded by less intense, and then less and less and less as it kind of went out, is paralleled in heaven. Begin to bechol rikia kamaman v'kamasarchin kamataman. The truth is that each firmament, each level of heaven, had its own guards, its own judges that stand there. And when a soul comes to come into that level in its ascent during your night sleep, they come up to go above. But if the angels say this soul isn't meriting to go up, they get pushed back. They don't get in. Oh, maybe that's why you can't always get a good night's sleep.
Yeah,
That's why I don't sleep too good.
I gotta do tshuva.
Can't sleep.
I sleep really good.
Insomnia.
Well,
I can't get
I'm
inside.
not saying this is the reason, but
No?
the Shatim Ba'alma. What happens? Where do they go if they can't get in? They flit about.
What does that mean?
They fly around.
Yeah.
They don't get in, but they don't go right. It's not that you either go in or you go back into your body. They're kind of in this world, in between worlds, so to speak. But not alone kama chavila to here. And what happens is they get taken by these groups of kind of semi-negative beings, and they tell you, they give you these kind of illusions or fantasies in your dream. They take you into this kind of, place of this unholy place, a dream state of unholiness.
These are malachim?
They are nasty malachim. Machshav Zoris malachim. They give you the Zohar.
Machshav Zoris. They send you to the movie house. That's what they show you a picture there.
They also tell you things. They tell you like things that are going to happen in the future, but are not really going to happen. They make you think you're some big psychic. They fool you. They have a fun misleading you. So then you wake up and you think you know things. Rav Nachman says that even great Torah scholars sometimes have this, where they're being misled. They think they know things, but really it's coming from the other side. Sometimes the things are true.
How do you decipher it?
It's
Yosef Atzadik knew how to do it.
The holy souls, they also flit above, but they flit and they go into these higher chambers and realms. The doors are open for them, and they're elevated in their connectivity to above, and they go to the place that's called the God's Mountain, the Har Bayis. Gavna, the rest of the Har Bayis, as the equivalent of somebody who's able to go into the go make aliyah and go be all the regal, they're able to have access to a holy place. We didn't go that far, but even just the harabayas, and then if there's Zohar to get into the Azara and so on. And then some can go to the next level. Now there's just stages of Kedusha of holiness. In that place, it's a more inner place, the Azara, as Yisrael, that's where the souls can be seen, all the souls can be seen before God. Just like literally we had a mitzvah to go up to be seen. We wanted to see and be seen. Who do we want to be seen by? Not just by other people, but ultimately God should see us all. So it's like that as well every evening for those souls that merit. When the souls are there, then it's the joy of the Holy One, blessed be, which is Malchus in this circumstance, to be beautified by and through these souls. In the chamber of the Holy of Holies. And there are written down all of the good deeds of these souls. And what does that do? It allows for the masculine and feminine aspects of God to become united through the merit of this ha'alat ma'anukfin, the bringing up of this feminine waters caused by the mitzvos that these souls did. Misharya tanina is ismana ba'arba shaite achranin. Now that's the first third of the night. That's the energy of the first third of the night. Getting into the temple or not getting in. Now we're up to the second third of the night.
So these souls get energized.
Yes.
Spirituality.
Yes.
At this point.
Now